Good morning. I am higher vibrations and so are you. And yes, today we have a guest coming, which is a little delayed. So we're just going to go ahead and go live and have a conversation because, yeah, we've been having a lot of crazy ascension symptoms. It's been really intense for many of us. I don't know how many of you slept very well last night, at least in the earlier part of the morning. Some really intense energy started to come in. I looked at it and I found that on the Schumann. That's about 2 a.m. was when we started to get some serious activity, some changing in our activity rather. And this made it so it was difficult to really, and I'm talking about the Italian graph, by the way. Here, let me kind of try to pull that up. Like, I don't know if you can, and I can't even click it. So whatever. Anyway, there's been some intense energy coming in. We've been feeling a lot, like I've been getting a lot of this heart chakra like vibration stuff again that for me is unpleasant. I really don't care for it, especially since I usually notice it when I am just, at a place of rest, and all of a sudden there's this like heart stuff. And, a lot of people have been talking about this. This has been something that many of us have been experiencing, really crazy dream time stuff that, it's just not stopped. I was kind of expecting it to slow down a little bit, but at least for this little window of time, but we're not going to do that. In 2 days from today is the lunar eclipse. We won't be able to see it in the northern hemisphere. As far as I think someone had said that it's like some real far east parts are going to see it at moonset, but the end of it or something. But anyway, whether you can see it or not, it's it's an intense energy that's coming in. It's interacting with this, not a comet, this three eye atlas, also known as C 2025. Um, and then, this September is known as, it's also the seventh month, it's the ninth month. And so there's actually two portals that we can like look forward to. And one of those portals, the 7-7 portal, because of the seventh month, sept means seven, oct means eight, nov means nine, dec means 10, and so on. You can see where the calendar months were before they changed it from a 13-month calendar to a 12-month calendar and all the other calendar stuff. Anyway, the 7-7 portal is also the day that we're having this lunar eclipse. And then on Tuesday, or the 9th at least, that it's a 9-year, so we have the 999 portal. That's on Tuesday for me, Wednesday for those in the southern hemisphere. So there's we're in this energy right now, and this corridor, this eclipse corridor, goes on until the equinox, until the 21st of September for the northern hemisphere. And then of course the 22nd is the September equinox. So there's there's a lot going on in the middle of that. We have a handful of different things in conjunctions. Moon meets the seven sisters. We have, conjunction of Moon and Jupiter. On the 8th, there's a Saturn and Moon conjunction with Neptune playing a part in that. And then on September 9th, we have the Perseid meteor shower. There's a lot just in that little week right there. Then there's, so on and so forth. There's quite a lot. Oh, there's a Cazimi on the 13th, a Cazimi with Mercury. So anyway, lots going on. For me, I've been noticing more and more like of this vibration stuff, and it's connected to some really crazy heart palpitation activity. Weird hot cold sweats are happening, that usually not in the same time, but sometimes I'm sure that can be happening, along with a lot of reports of people talking about hair and teeth loss. Like all of a sudden, like something's going on with their hair or their teeth. A lot of oral, mouth, throat chakra kind of stuff, coming through for people right now. Along with that, I've also been listening into some conversations that I've been part of individuals talking about sudden oral trauma, mouth trauma, and like this is also throat chakra stuff. I know that a lot of us have what they call the witch's wound, where the throat chakra has been stopped, quieted, and as a result, maybe there was a series of things occurring that cause, you to have, like, there's persecution or repercussions for your actions, for speaking your truth, for being your authentic self in some way, and then, that's why they call it the witch's wound. But that's not the only example. The witch trials is one that we're made aware of, an event that may be more symbolic than we even realize. However, along with that, we have many, many, many lifetimes of this persecution energy. And so we're working this out, we're releasing it, releasing a lot of the mouth related stuff. And Shannon's in, and I saw she said the same thing. Yep. Toothache last night. I've been noticing it like in the gums. I'll notice it's like a throbbing headache, kind of like a dull, but throbbing, like there's a pulse to it, kind of headache in the gums. This often for me occurs around like solar activity. And then I don't know if you guys have been noticing the pyramid shape in the center of the sun, the coronal hole, or the coronal hole that's facing us. We're getting constant influx from that. 2 days ago, we had northern lights in areas where it wasn't super common due to this, due to the solar activity and the stuff that's happening. Our ionosphere, the layer of awesomeness that's around our Earth, the place that we live on, it like that kind of like is a buffer, or kind of slows some of the motion or the energy of the sun, has kind of been breaking down due to this constant feeding with this coronal hole onto our ionosphere. And so any of the activity that we're getting outside of this planet is more intensified and comes more direct. So we're noticing a lot more of this stuff. I don't know about y'all, but my appetite is pretty much non-existent. I have been, eating a little bit here, snacking, I guess is more like it. But for me, it's more juice related, and also juice and tea. I'm not liking orange juice anymore. It's this thing that's a big deal for me. Those of you who know me kind of know I'm an orange juice person, and I'm not anymore. I don't care for any of that. I noticed that we did have a timeline. We had a jump merging thing that happened about a week or so ago. I lost track of time. I think today's Friday. Happy Friday, y'all, by the way. So along with this, I'm noticing that we're having even more, like real, just going into yourself, a little more quiet, a little more of this, like, hey, maybe you ought to like just kind of pull back from interactions in a social way from other individuals, things like this. I'm noticing that to be but however, at the same time, this is the part that's really interesting. I'm finding that I am more drawn to the community of the spiritual world, so it's not like we're pulling away completely. It's just that we're pulling away from, mixed groups, I guess. Along with that, I know a lot of people that are pulling away all full stop, that are planning on doing so for the duration of September, and once I've kind of pulled back and observed that this happens every year, and I've just really never noticed the pattern of it always being in September until this year. So, if that's you, if you feel that way, if you're like it feels like you're on the fence about hermiting, and that's because we're being guided to be a little bit more selective about the company that we keep, when possible. There are situations for sure where that's just not going to happen very easily, but perhaps come to more of our group gatherings that we have. We have the free group gatherings every Wednesday, and then there's the subscription one that's $33 a month for every Tuesday for a small group. We do a meditation in that meeting. It tends to go on for about 3 hours, that meeting, even though I think to myself that it's going to be 2. It's a really fun place to be. And that's not the only one. Like, I'm not the only one that does these types of things, I'm sure. At one point, I remember looking into it back in a couple of years ago when there were a few different people doing it, so that I knew of. So just, the suggestion here is to keep connected to the spiritual community, coming to these lives or lives like this and chatting in the chat, allowing yourself to talk to each other. If you put the @ symbol in front of someone's name, I will My goal, my intention is to not click it. Sometimes I click it. I don't mean to. So what I'm saying is you guys can talk to each other too. You don't have to only talk to me. So I'm gonna say hi to Deborah. I see that you've been commenting in here. Hello, good to see you. And also Vegan Vixen must be here because I see her saying hello to Vegan. You were born on the 9th of June. Well, awesome. I wonder what I'm sure that's got to do with an earlier conversation, or perhaps the fact that we're talking about September 9th. And then also here, Suzette says, yeah, throbbing of the gums. Yeah, this weird, it feels like a headache and throbbing headache in the gums. Lots of fruit for me. And yeah, like eating a lot differently. This is something else that's kind of fascinating to observe. I'm noticing that we are like kind of a lot of us, not just a few of us, starting to eat like meat again when we had been omitting that from our daily intake or even monthly intake for some time now. All of a sudden, that's what we're doing. Hey, I've been on for 11 minutes, 11 seconds. That was fun to look up right then. Along with that, so we're noticing that we're wanting to eat meat, but along with it, we're not really having much of an appetite at all. And that's like, it's really weird. So it's like the meat and fruit and veggies kind of way of eating again. So that's really interesting. I know a lot of you have been doing what I've been doing, and that's like a lot of parasite cleansing kind of stuff. And along with that, almost always that after I kind of start to do this parasite cleanse for long enough, that I'll notice that my body no longer desires either sugar or grain. And so it just tells me that must be what those parasites eat. You know what I mean? And I know that I've heard other people report that before, but it's just very interesting to have that observation where it just, this sugar and grain. I don't know I think I said meat and grain, but the sugar and grain is what I stopped it all of a sudden. Like, I used to sweeten my coffee, I used to, eat, pasta, bread. We make bread, but I just don't want it anymore. When I've done these different cleansings, and along with that, well, I'm just going to tell you guys, wormwood and black walnut. Gosh, I can always forget the name of that husks, black walnut husks and whole clove together. Like I'll just make it into like a tea while I'm waiting for my tincture to cook, and so while I'm doing that, I've made like a tea, and I found that I probably put a lot too much black walnut in there, to be honest. And so I'm just taking like small amounts of it every day of that tea that I made, and I'm along with that. This is what's happening. All of a sudden, my body wants to eat and doesn't want to eat is changed. We just got through a real intense purge, and I know a lot of people are still in it. And that frequency bathroom trips, food just goes straight through you kind of stuff. Wow, just noticing that like maybe you're not drinking nearly as much water as you did, but then began to find that you're drinking or that you're peeing a lot, even though you're not drinking that much water. So it's really interesting. I do feel like that my body wants more water. I'm just not doing it. Barbara says, wish we all lived closer together. I know, dude. It would be so much fun. I know that's going to happen. This is a vision I've always seen. When I was really young, I translated it as it was a village for single moms because most of the people who were there were women with children, but that doesn't mean that was the only people who were there. That's just how I translated it at this young age. And, that's a good part of a large reason for my presence here in this particular part of the country. But yeah, I would love that still. It gets tiresome being alone. My dog is even feeling very exhausted today, worried about her. Also having to figure out finances, withdrawing from everything. Yeah, it's really difficult. It's difficult to know how to find that balance. That balance is very strange to try to do at first with all of these previous, the way we learned how to live in this world, the 3D world. The way we live in this is um, becoming, kind of entangled with, you know, or we're learning how to untangle, untwine, ourselves with that. And it just is one thing, one part at a time is what I've found. Eventually, once a willing heart is fully present and we release some of the things that, like notions and ideas, is what I mean by releasing things, belief systems and stuff, we find that this transfers or translates very quickly. It's a very, I don't, it's something that I don't know how to teach it. I remember trying to learn it on purpose before, and it wasn't until I was made to find I had no control over anything in my life, where I had been somebody who didn't really, I wasn't really big into controlling all aspects, but there was things that, yeah, I held real, I became very controlling of, and I then all of a sudden was homeless with a 5-year-old, and everything was no longer in my control. And I was able to find, some peace and release in that. And that's when all these things started to change for me. Everyone's different, but that was what my story is like, so. Hey Mila, weird eye stuff too. I'm eating meat again too. Interesting, you're eating meat again too. I've heard a few people report this. It's really, really fascinating because I started to do the same thing. I mean, I've 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 been doing a lot of like chicken soup kind of stuff. Even if it's a warm day. Today's one of the colder days that it's been this past little while, but we got a storm going on north of us, and so we're getting like the benefit of cooling everything off. However, yeah, this eye stuff, I've been noticing it too. My daughter also. It's really interesting. So she's in California. I'm not saying where for privacy reasons, but um, just showing that this is, like opposite parts of the world, really. And we're having the same experiences. We're having the same things happening. It's got nothing to do with a virus or something like that. Um, Someone asked me to message them. That's not something that I do. If you want to connect with me, you're welcome to send me a message, but not in, I won't answer any messages in Facebook. There's like one or two people that I actually will click. It's not personal. It's the vibration of Facebook's Messenger. So that's not a way that I communicate. I'll just go into Facebook's Messenger every couple of months and just delete everything and not click it. If I click it, it's an accident. So just so you know. Um, Anyway, Anita says, hi there, everyone. Good to see you, Anita. Welcome. Jenna says, yes, coming out the other side. That was quite something. Yeah, the purge was intense. I'm glad that it's over. Like I feel like it's mostly over, but at the same time, there is more to come. There's more to be released from that we're, it's a purge and a rest, and a purge and a rest, like purge recovery that we're expected to have for the next foreseeable while, and whether or not we want that to be the case, that's just happens to be what's going on. So um it's very interesting to see that. Thank you for your comment, Janet. And yes, it's lonely these days. Yeah, we are wanting to connect to each other more and more. And that's part of the message there is I'm encouraged to remind people to stay connected to one another, to because I know we're wanting to, like, you know, um we're drawn to this hermetism kind of thing, pulling back, the withdrawal slightly from in a social way. And this is not discouraged. It's just you're just reminded to stay connected to those in the spiritual way, in the awakening, in the spiritual community. So you because that part is needed. That's where we're feeling more lonely. Like we're pulling back, but then we're feeling lonely at the same time. And if you talk to somebody like a muggle about that, that would be super confusing for them. Well, then why don't you come to the barbecue or come to the fair? Well, no, that's not exactly that depletes my system right now rather than filling it back up. You know, it's the the soup of the soul, or the chicken soup of the soul. Soup is the best. I actually, soup is, to me, is like the witch's brew, right? Because everything that goes into the soup, and I'm not talking about canned soup. I don't know how long it's been since I've had canned soup. What I'm talking about is just soup. You know, like you get some water and you get it to, an almost boil, and then you start tossing stuff in there, and like, and each thing that you put in there has an intention, and you give it the intention while you're putting it in. It's an important ingredient for your healing that's coming in, that's being put in, and we're using love, so it can be something like a love potion, you know. Um, so it's something that, a lot of people think that they can't afford to do it or something like that, when it's actually quite affordable. It doesn't have to be anything really special. Grab some carrots, grab some potatoes, like I like to use celery and herbs and all kinds of different spices and dried herbs that I have around the house as well, that are meant for healing purposes, and as I add those to my soup, it becomes even more healing, especially with the intention that I put behind it. This is intended to help me. This is intended to uplift me in some way, so yeah, it's a big pot of magic. Exactly. So anyway, if you have a chance to do that, it's not like arduous work. It's simply just, being home long enough to let it simmer, and every once in a while stir it, kind of thing. It doesn't, so anyway, very lonely. Exactly. A lot of us are feeling this way, can't be around crowds and feeling lonely at the same time. It feels so confusing, right? So what this is exactly what I'm talking about. We're all feeling this. Is so bizarre seeming, but what it is just we're being called to connect with each other, to connect with those who are also on this spiritual journey in some way, those who can understand us. The meetings have been getting smaller lately, I've noticed, and it's kind of surprising because of this very thing. This is a global experience that we're all having, and we're being called to come together, very specifically at this time, so. And I've just been on for 22 minutes and 22 seconds. I'm not sure if Layla's going to be able to come or not today. I haven't seen any kind of correspondence with her, so it may just be me today. I'm going to make sure I told her the right time. I might have told her the right time, wrong time. 3 p.m. Mountain Time. Oh, no, that's right. This is right. Okay, I told her the right time. I had to translate it for a second. Mountain Time's 1 hour behind me. So yeah, okay. Well, whether or not she can come, we'll still have a fun conversation today, and we'll talk about what's going on Ascension wise. And once the hour's up, if she's not able to come, that's okay. We'll have to reschedule with her at a different time. You never know what's going to come up with people, and that's okay. I do look forward to having a conversation with her in the near future. And also regarding shows, I kind of wanted to let you guys know a little bit about our lineup, because we are having so we're having a special 9/11 show with Elsa on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, and Thursday for the Southern Hemisphere. It's going to be pretty awesome. If anybody wants to come to that one I think is going to start at the normal time at 2 p.m. Central Time. And then, through that, we're also going to have a handful of other people coming on for our Wednesday show. Dr. Joe's going to be on the week after that. And then Sharmony and Sven are coming on the 24th of September, which is another Wednesday. And then coming up, we have, let me see what I got. I got Shashu's coming on the 19th, and Anna E's coming on the 26th. I believe that the 12th is still open on a Friday. If anybody wants to come on, by the way, I'm scheduling out the rest. That's the last day I have open in the month, for anybody who wants to come and join us on the show. But anyway, and if you want to come on for October, just send me a message, Telegram or email, please. It'll be awesome. But there's so much code and so much to kind of to talk about regarding the 9/11 and all that kind of stuff. 9/11 is in the middle of this eclipse corridor. And so there a lot of that energy is coming forward right now. And we're feeling the thing that this is my main ascension symptom. This is, I mean, we're having all this physical stuff where you're noticing you don't have an appetite. Your thirst is all weird. You're having weird bathroom frequency, and the mucus that's purging from us is kind of slowing down a little bit, but it's still there, you know. And we're also noticing this weird stuff coming out of our skin, you know, we may try to explain by calling it some kind of acne. We're having all of that kind of stuff. But the thing that I'm really been noticing the most, is just right in my face, is the constant downloads that I'm getting. I'm in constant download mode. Like the ear ringing and the slight vertigo, lightheadedness, dizziness combo thing that happens is all happening at the same time. We're noticing that our hands are feeling weird, whether they're heating up, the palms are sweating, or like you're feeling almost like it's like numb or something. Like there's something weird and different happening regarding this area, the hands right now. And along with all of this constant download stuff, then the time is switching around. It's speeding up and slowing down and speeding up. We're getting done 5 hours worth of stuff in such a small amount of time that it feels like it has to have been longer than 20 minutes or something like that. And then, you know, we go to look at the clock and we find out it's been, you know. And then the other way is but even more common though, but that one really gets my attention because it's not as common anymore, is instead, you know, it's time is speeding up so fast that you start your day and then all of a sudden the day's over. You know, like it's not that I'm overly busy in these times sometimes too. It's a lot of times it's this constant downloads, you know. So hey, Yolanda Marie made it. Blessings everyone. I'm late to the party. Welcome. I'm glad you were able to join us today. It's just me talking today. Layla has not been able to make it so far. So we're going to just keep talking until the hour goes up. If I saw Yolanda Marie, guys, Yolanda Marie channels, at Yolanda Marie channels, if you're looking for her on YouTube, she just posted a new video. We all have been noticing the same thing, you know, where everyone's kind of pulling back and now we're kind of coming back into the fold again. So if that's you, then welcome back, you know. Deborah says, yes, lots of downloads, Spacey and the hands, and the feet too. Yeah. It's weird. Spacey is a good word. I use the word floaty a lot. I feel so floaty right now. Like, I feel like I'm in between. You know what I mean by in between? Like you're here, but you're also not here. You know, we know we're on our way someplace, like it's the foot in motion and mid stride, you know, from beyond the threshold and over the threshold. So we know we're in this other place now, but we haven't really set our foot down yet. Is kind of what it feels like for me. That's the sensation that I get from it. And just like we know that as we put our feet down, we're able to then connect to it more. And so we're energetically doing that. Along with the feet stuff, I noticed that often my feet will start to do that kind of thing when they want to meet a ground more. You know, so I'll go out and I'll ground by standing on the ground outside without shoes or socks on, bare feet. Contact to the ground really, really helps. But at the same time, something else is happening with the feet. It's the turning on of your magic hands. Also, they're called healing hands, but it's magic. They're like jazz hands, you know, but they're magic. And so are our feet. The way that we ground as we walk in any day, where if you're at the store, if you're in a path in the woods, it doesn't matter where you're at. As you walk, it looks like electricity kind of. Like electricity comes off the bottoms of our feet and goes into the ground. I watch it. I can see people doing it. And there's some people who don't do it, but most people do. In some people's electricity, I kind of I compare it to the roots of a tree, made of light, that they connect every time we take a step. And while we're doing that, we're we're becoming the conduit that we came here to be. Things are flowing through us, up and down, and it's a constant back and forth. And as this conduit that we are receives and delivers this energy, and we notice also a shaking, like a vibration inside of our core, like it vibrates, and it can feel very uncomfortable. It can be an unpleasant experience if we don't know what it is, and anyway, as we do this, as we ground within each step, it's like magic. It's the magic of the fairies. It has a tinkling sound to it and everything, like fairies. And, this helps to walk, is why I'm telling you this, to move, to flow the energy by walking. And I'm not talking about a marathon. We're talking about, being in motion. Sometimes dancing can be the replacement for this. Allow yourself to dance. You don't have to dance, like the professionals, or something. You can dance like I dance, where you just move with the music, and it might be one of those things you don't want to do in front of somebody else, but just do it anyway, right? That's what I've learned to do, and it really helps. It moves and flows the energy. It's the Tai Chi kind of concept, Qigong and Tai Chi are really useful, that you can do by looking up on YouTube. There's all kinds of different videos about that for free that you can do with others and be guided. Janet says, yes. So everything, everywhere, everything, everywhere, all at once. Yeah, for the most part, all of it's happening all at the same time. It's crazy. And it's like that's the name of a movie too. I wonder if that's the reference you're making. Hello, Leah. Good to see you. Hello, gorgeous people. Welcome. I'm happy to see you. I've been wondering about you. Oh, wow. Yes, I can relate about the strange happenings. It's been really bizarre. There's been so much. And the kind of conversations that we're having with spirit has evolved and changed. The other day, the first time that I have awareness of and memory of, I connected, and I was up like in astral having a conversation. I hesitate because sometimes I mix the two up, the astral and the remote viewing, because remote viewing's changed, that it feels like you go more in trance than before. So you go there in a more real way than before. But anyway, I was having a conversation with myself, with my higher self, and then I realized I was the higher self talking to this self. I thought that was very fascinating. So anyway, it's just weird, and it's cool though. As we're having these conversations, we're learning new things, or we're being reminded of things that we already knew about, maybe forgotten temporarily. But these constant downloads that are coming in right now are designed to help you. And if we can accept the downloads for face value and not have to over devote time to each of the downloads, I find it to be the most useful, the most beneficial for us, is to, take it in. It does slowly unpack itself once we kind of release that death grip to it and like let it just kind of come out the way it's meant to. You'll notice that over a 7 or 8 day period, it'll unfurl itself. It's really fascinating. We're in two places at once, or many. Yes, ma'am. It's crazy. The in between, the floaty, more than before. I know that we've talked about this before, but something different's happened here. It's gotten bigger in a way that I don't fully know how to translate in the non-quantum way. We speak so much in quantum now in the spirit stuff. It's kind of, I've had to bury my feelings in the dirt to ground at times lately. Bury my feet in the dirt to ground at times lately. Yeah, Leah, I've noticed that too. Like sometimes when we just place the soles of our feet on the soil, it's good enough. But I'm finding that I'm kind of digging in a little bit too. Maybe not burying my feet, like the tops of my feet exactly, but enough to get every part of my foot in contact. Because we have the arch that doesn't get that contact, and things like that. I'm noticing that something else for those of you who is getting colder, by the way, It's one of the things that I've learned to do over the years. This is also a thing that, the world of psychology just recently discovered. It's a new thing, well, within the past couple of years, is this using soil for seasonal depression is actually how they word it. It's this earthing. Bring soil into the house, man. I bring a big old, we have those big planters and stuff. I don't get one that's overly large, excuse me, but I bring in some that, enough. You don't need to be able to bury your feet like Leah's talking about in this, but just enough to place the soles of your feet on. I find that one of those, like, I don't know, mid shin high, tall. I don't want to know how to translate to every different like centimeters and inches and stuff together, but like a foot and a half tall or something like that is about what I bring in, and it ends up being enough for the whole winter. The entire time that it's cold. That way, you can continue to utilize the grounding, the earthing aspects. 5 minutes at a time for the feet is all that's needed. And I'm finding that if you can do the same thing with your hands. See, the reason that works so well on the feet is the feet have the largest pores. The soles of the feet have the largest pores than any other part of your body. This is the natural process that's always occurred as we walked the land, and all of this concrete and shoes and stuff have kind of created a barrier between us and connecting with the world that we're on. And so it helps to do it with more intention and bringing it into the while you stand on the soil with your bare feet, because the pores there are so large, then you're able to ionize. The ionization process is, you think that a positive ions are were actually what you want, but that means they're full. And there's that static energy. It feels like old dial-up internet used to sound. That, to me, that's what it feels like, that staticky, like kind of energy. And so I find that if I let myself stand there for a lot long enough, all of a sudden it starts to quiet. And that's when you've purged your body of the positively charged ions and then now you have all these negatively charged ones, these empty ones. And now you can be at peace or more at peace. You can do this with your hands too. It takes about twice as long, around 10 minutes, to do this with your hands, when you're gardening and you're playing in the soil. I find this to be the most enjoyable version, though. We'll get those little teeny like Hot Wheel like tractors and stuff and just play, because in that playful state, it's true. Okay, this is my experience. You all have your own experience, but this is my story I'm talking about. If you relate, let me know. I just looked up and we've been on for 37 minutes and 37 seconds. That's the third time that I've looked up and seen the synchronicity and not meant to. Not done it on purpose. Is that while we are in a place of play, then whatever it is that we're doing is stronger, more profound, longer lasting, and more powerful. I don't know why that is. It's just how it is. So many at once, Janet. Oh, excuse me. You guys are talking to each other. I jump on my rebounder. Feels so good. That must be an exercise thing. And yeah, motion. If it's dancing, you don't have to dance like, super big dance too. If you're, semi-immobile, chair dancing, laying on the floor, dancing while you're on your back, like I remember doing that with people before. Anyway, so just letting motion occur. This chi needs to not just move, but it grows and it expands. It's kind of like a river that's got too much debris in there, and it makes the flow big enough for all that debris to move through, and then you have this clear flow of your energy, of your chi. It's really it's easy too. It doesn't even take that long. We do this qigong. My daughter and I do this qigong that's like, 10 minutes long. I think the video is 12 minutes long, but she spent some time talking about it, and we do this one pretty regularly. It's only 10 minutes and it's so gentle. You don't really break a sweat or anything, like, but you're also noticing you're working some muscle areas that maybe you don't work a lot if you spend a lot of time in front of a desk, you know, and it's really, really transforms my day. Yeah, after I've done that, suddenly, um, I'm able to do so much more. Like I'm more engaged and more, inclined to participate more. I don't know, you're talking to each other again. I'm sorry. Okay, hey y'all, the energy right now hit me like a brick wall about an hour ago. Sending love, Rose Matter. Sending love back to you as well. Yeah, there's been some. Me too. I kind of expected when I pulled up the graphs that I'd be able to show you guys something much more profound than what we've gotten to show you right now. But there's some definite energy coming in right now. I didn't though check some the other normal. Let me hurry and look really quick. Oh yeah, we got a little bit of a spike on the HPO index. We're at 3.3 or 3.667, which is above 3 is when people start to feel it. Above 5 is even a bigger deal. So I'm just going to show it to you, even though it's on my phone. I'm just going to show you real quick that yellow spike that we're at right now. It's reversed, so you might not be able to see exactly. But so anyway, that's where we are right now. And like it's typically there's nothing or green. When you notice there's nothing though, when there's no green at all, you can expect that there's going to be a increase. And look at that part right there where there was nothing. I know it's really kind of annoying to use my phone, but so there's nothing, and then just right over here is our spike. It didn't take very long to get to that spike. It went up to 4. It went up to 4 15 minutes ago, but now it's at 3.667. We'll see how that goes. I can tell you this is that typically when there's a spike, there'll be a couple more. And it's 444 right now. And we're in this place right now where that not a comet, as it's coming in, increases everything else that we have. It's been, like now this is the third not a comet that we've had to come around since 2017. And in that time, we've been able to deduce that as it gets closer and closer to the sun and the other planetary bodies around us, the more interaction, the more intense kind of interaction we begin to get, So it amplifies it in a way that is noticeable. Hi to Lizzie. I didn't say hello to you. Hi. She says, hi, Mila, everyone. And then Yolanda Marie says, send a light to the fluid in your body to help it integrate the energies as well. Yes. Yes. Thank you so much for saying that. As we bump something on our body, let's say you just slammed into your shoulder, into the wall or something. I do that all the time, right? And what we do is we place our hand there. We place our hand on the hurt, and we notice that there's swelling because water flows where light must glow. The two are required in order to cause healing, and putting your healing hand upon that area of your body delivers a more intense, a higher quantity of that light to the healing of it. Now that's us doing it on autopilot. That's not with much intention exactly. Doing it with intention, however, increases it. It amplifies the experience of it and makes it much more amazing and healing. We also remember when we're in a meditative state that when we breathe in through the nose, we're breathing in the light, right? The light of creator source of God. Also breathing up the light from Tara's heart center below. And as that light enters into our heart chakra space, it's not an accident that it's this emerald green in its symbol. It's this emerald green color. This is the color of healing. And so as it culminates in the heart center, that goes in all the different directions that's needed by it. And so we find that the delivery of this light then going to these areas of our body begins the rapid healing of it. Just as Yolanda Marie said, sending light there on purpose, So then we're bringing all this light into the heart, and then visualize sending it to the area that requires your assistance. And then continue with the breathing in through the nose, holding it for a moment in the belly. And I find also I pucker up my lower body, like all of that, bringing it up, the energy up from the root chakra, from Tara's heart center, and bringing it up into there. And as you raise your diaphragm with the breath, remember to expand your belly when we breathe, because we tend to breathe really shallow breaths in the upper chest area. And then as you exhale, this is how I do it. As I exhale, that's when I'm intentionally sending the light to a specific area of the body, and that assists with the healing that's intended there. So Deborah says, mini trampoline, loosen everything, and then I release it. Oh, cool. Yeah, I've seen those before. Those little trampolines, those are fun. We actually had one at one point. I got it for my daughter, and she just didn't like it. She's like, this isn't very fun compared to a normal trampoline. So happy to, oh, excuse me, you guys are talking to each other again. You're never alone. We are here. That's right, Lizzie. Thank you for saying that to Barbara. And it's true for all of us, like allow yourself to come, allow yourself to participate is really the encouragement here. Allow yourself to be a part of this community. We have a Telegram group that's there's a link in this description, the description of this video, where you're able to join for free. There's like 500 plus people there from all over the world, and therefore there's always somebody awake, and there's a bunch of different like folders is what it's called on my side. I guess different devices have different words. And you can explore if you want a folder that's designed for the area of the world you live in. Send me a message and ask if you would like. You can also just put the @ symbol, and I think that my name is Higher Vibrations Pamela on there on Telegram. But it'll then you can and that after you've alerted me by linking me by doing the @ symbol, then I'll go and create that folder that you request. So just so you know, I'm bringing this up because we are all needing to be in some type of community right now. Though we're pulling back, we're hermiting, we're withdrawing in some way, we're also being guided to a different type of community. And that's the spiritual, those individuals who you relate to, Happy to be here. Thank you all. Good to see you, Dawn. Welcome. A lot of the people that are in the chat do come through on my YouTube channel. So if I do think about those who are joining in from different places, that a lot of times as they come on, it's like, not always are you able to connect with each other. I will, though, put your comment up, and so you can connect that way. But yeah, it's so useful. I first started the reason I even do this, the reason that I even do YouTube, and still, and it started out with this. Every Monday, Guardian would go live, and there were about 30 of us that would come and be in the chat. And of those 30, there were about half of us were like real close. We would look for each other. We knew each other's names, and we would chat with each other all through the live. We'd interact with Guardian also as well, but it was mostly we were chatting with each other, and we were exchanging contact information and then deleting it right after the other person said, I got it. So then you have your, and then we created our own communities. We found people to connect to. And I looked forward to Monday all week long. That was the day that I got to connect with my family, and that's why I do this, is the magic that happened from that. I love watching y'all make connections and find each other and get to know that you're not alone and you're not weird and you're one of us. We've been dispersed evenly throughout the planet. So it has been frustrating for some time because we've been so far apart from one another. Now we found a way to connect. And yes, physically, we're all drawing closer to each other as well. I've noticed energetically, if you pull up above the planet, you can see. But then, creating these intentional communities or just finding that we're all living in the same neighborhood that's got nothing to do with intentional communities and stuff like that. You know what I mean? There's a lot. Excuse me. Jess says, hi guys, I just pulled an angel card. Expect a miracle. Yay. Aho. Thank you for sharing that, Jess. Yeah, I expect a lot of miracles to be coming. We're in a really cool window of time now. We're getting here. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Quite amazing to have such a loving family who you have never met. Isn't that bizarre and cool at the same time, Barbara? We're just so connected and so deeply devoted in our heart centers with one another. Yet, yeah, many of us have not met in person. I know that we will. Many of us will. It's fated. It's in the stars. It's just, this is the patience time because I can be pretty patient. Like, for instance, let's talk about like someone's birthday. I'm pretty good. I'll like prepare for that person's birthday. I'll get them a present or something like that. And then, as it gets closer and closer to the birthday, then my patience wears thin. And I'm usually the person that's trying to talk that individual into opening their gift a week early when I've waited 6 months. And so that's where we are right now. I'm finding this is where we are. We're, at the precipice of it. And it's like, can I just give you your present now? Kind of, it feels like, can we just do it now? That is something that I need to work through on my own. I know a lot of us are being asked to have patience right now. It's kind of frustrating. Lizzie says, I've started Tai Chi. It's awesome. Awesome. Congratulations. Tai Chi is so awesome. It's so useful. And you'd be surprised how much it really helps your body to, like in a healthy way. It increases the flow of your energy as your chi, right? And it promotes this circulation in a way that that stuff that doesn't help you is able to be purged, and therefore you find that your body starts to slim. You feel healthier. You have better access to your muscle capacities. It's not something to bulk up. That's not. It's meant to promote health, and as a fun side effect, we end up feeling better, and being able to access, these different energies that maybe we've not been able to before. Omega says, hi, Mila. I love watching here. You say things that help me realize a feeling or process normal for me into English. Awesome. I'm very happy to hear that, Omega. And I'm glad you're able to join us. I see you all the time. Welcome. Thank you. Don says, just dance. Am viewing YouTube now. Laugh out loud. Happy is overflowing. Yeah, just dance, man. I love it. That's fun. And let yourself celebrate, right? It's very beautiful that when we are in dance, we often, that's a real good place, a way to find your 0 point also in motion, in fact, it's interesting. Tai Chi is known as meditation in action or in motion, depending on the different people you're talking to, because we can just in the same as in dance. It's very similar to dance, Tai Chi, I find, is that when we're in dance, we're in the moment now, where we're not in the future or in the past, and we're just in the flow of the energy of the music, and I've found it was actually in dance that I first learned how to create what we call love balls. Like as you create the healing energy in front of yourself, and then you like give it to somebody, you send it to somebody. It's done most easily for me in dance. And while doing that, then I got to do it with my child when we started doing it when she was much younger than she is now, and we still do it. It's really healing and beautiful. So, well, I'm going to keep talking for a little bit longer, but I think it's pretty safe to say that Layla's not going to be able to make it to today's show. I'm sure there's all kinds of stuff happens. I was delayed even coming on to find that she wasn't here is due to like all the stuff that had needed to be updated before I started, not knowing that was going to occur. Um, but anyway, there is, another opening for you if you're listening, Layla. If you'd like to join me, I'll keep it held for you the 12th. Um, I think that's next Friday. Yeah, that's next Friday. So if you'd like to come on, and I know things happen. So um, anyways, if anyone has any questions before I'm getting ready to close now. Um, I do know that a lot of what we're experiencing right now, this motion away from the crowds and into the quiet, but then also into the community of spiritual friends. We're finding this to be almost like a breath. You can see a pattern for it, where we do this a lot, where we'll need to come in, and like be part of something, but also not of the larger group. Oh, Layla's joining us right now. Hello, you've made it.
Hey, love. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
Yeah.
I'm just closing up. I'm glad you were able to come.
Oh, you're closing up? I put 3 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. I'm so sorry. It's 3 o'clock now. I guess we got the times mixed. I guess I got the time mixed up.
It's 3:58.
Oh, okay. It's
Your
three
mountain
o'clock.
time. Your mountain time, right?
Yeah, it's 3 o'clock here. 2:58 here. Arizona. Arizona's on Mountain Time.
But I'm in Central Time and it's 4:58.
Yeah, it's 2:58 here. So I was thinking that we are like, yeah, it was just a miscommunication. I
Weird.
should have.
No, it's okay. I'm just like, what's going on with why are you am I on the wrong time? Or are you on? I just wanted to know. I'm gonna look. I'm really curious now. Okay,
Yeah, it's
mountain
okay.
time. Maybe, yes. Yeah, I've been on for almost an hour now.
Oh
Mountain time.
no, I'm so sorry. Yeah, it was a miscommunication
Yeah,
there.
it says
'Cause-
currently. Yeah. Weird. It says that so your clock must be wrong.
Okay, so okay, yeah, you said 6 p.m. Eastern time, right? It was 6 p.m. Eastern time.
I when you responded back to me, you said 3 p.m. Mountain, so I said okay, and I set it for that. So
Oh, okay, yeah, I had converted 3 p.m. based on the 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, so
okay,
it
yeah,
was just
I'm not
confusing.
Eastern time. I got you. I got you. Well,
Oh,
I'm sorry. We've been on for an
oh,
hour already, so
it's okay. Yeah, just at least
oh
I can come in and
darn.
say hi real quick, to
Yeah, I'm glad you're
everybody.
able to join. Communication stuff happens. It's so annoying, this whole time zone thing. So I assumed you were on the East Coast because I don't know why. A lot of people are.
Yeah.
And so I had told you that, but then when you responded to me, I had translated it to my own time zone. Okay, she said 3 o'clock, so that means 4 o'clock for me.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It was just yeah, the time zone conversion stuff can be very
Darn.
confusing. I'm
Well,
so sorry. Yeah, you
that's
probably were
okay.
like, she just didn't show up. No, that's definitely not me. I
No,
would always show up. Sorry about that.
I knew there was some reason for it. Well, I was actually just talking to you in my live, thinking maybe you'll come back and see it. Is that I actually have an opening next Friday that I would like to offer you if you'd like to come back on the show.
Oh yeah, for sure. And this time we'll get the time right for
Okay,
sure.
yeah. Now I know that you're mountain time. That helps a lot.
Yeah,
What?
is it Arizona's mountain time, right? Or am I
No, you're right.
confused?
I'm sure you're right.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. Now
it's
I'm gonna
just
have to Google because like that stuff confuses me.
right. Well, I know somewhere in Arizona it goes from it's like Pacific time somewhere in Arizona, but most of it's mountain time.
Yeah,
And
it convert yeah, that daylight saving, it does go on California time at one point, but then it converts back an hour difference where we're an hour later from California. But yeah, it was just a misunderstanding. I'm always so confused with what is time? What is
I
time?
know it's the Tower of Babel is what it is.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
I caught your show. We could talk for just a couple more minutes, but I do have to wrap
Sure.
it up.
Sure. Let's talk a little bit whenever
um,
you're done.
so you have this oh goodness, Golden Age Goddess podcast. Is that how you?
Yes. Yeah. We actually closed the show out due to personal reasons, but we're actually repurposing a lot of the clips because a lot of our videos were super long anyway. So we're taking lots of different clips, lots of different thought processes, and repurposing them because we have a lot of content now. Like, each video was like 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Well, there, I, I'm sorry to hear that there's a parting of ways, but I know that that happens all the time. There's a lot of really awesome stuff that you've been talking about lately, and so I'm kind of, I know you are you getting ready to start something different? Or are you gonna keep that same channel or?
Oh yeah, I'm starting some other things different that I'm going to share. I'm going to share it with you next Friday for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, what were you going to say? You were mentioning something. Was it something you were going to say about one of the episodes?
Yeah, I at I just I have it where I get notifications. I don't do that with most people. I don't usually get, but that one I wanted to. And you were talking about uh, uh being the bad bee. Is that was the one that I was watching just a little bit ago. I thought that was it was I just it was a good sampling of the kind of way that we're learning to kind of be in the energy of the world that we're in now. Is
Mhm.
that all of these old words, the words that we have given some type of density to, or maybe a density has been assigned to it. For instance, the word power. That
Mhm.
word means, in its most purest form, to teach, to
Mm.
give, to empower the other.
That's
And
exactly what I was thinking when you said empower. Yeah.
right. But what is
Mhm.
it that word become for the past while? It's been about,
Control,
yeah,
dominance.
overpowering.
Yeah.
Right. And so I loved that episode because it was very much in line with that whole unraveling of these old concepts and returning back to the pure divineness of it, you know?
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we poured our heart into the podcast, so I'm very grateful for the time I spent with my dear beloved souls. And yeah, but it's that's it's a year of the snake. It's a 9 years. So it was like grand opening, grand closing.
Right. Right.
But it's what's necessary. We did what was needed to be done. But yeah, I'm definitely moving on to bigger and better things, and so are they. And I don't want to say bigger and better because that sounds kind of like egoic, because that was great as well. But
Right.
just other things that are more aligned, I will say.
Right.
Yeah.
I totally get that. And I agree with you. Like, I've had some really awesome things happen. And people ask me about those other individuals that I was participating with. And I love them.
Yeah.
I don't know what's
Absolutely.
going on. But, like, we got done with what we
Yeah.
were doing.
Absolutely. Yeah. This year of the snake. Oh my gosh, intense.
Yeah.
Intense, very intense shedding. And what I'm realizing, it just always goes back to self. Everything always goes back to self. It's like we think we're releasing other people or releasing something else, but we're really releasing that energy that was attached to that.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you know
Exactly.
very
Exactly.
interesting. Yeah.
And the snake and First Nations people, the totem energy of the snake is transmutation.
Yep.
And so, and it's not surprising that our Kazemi is Mercury. It's Thoth. And like
Okay.
where it's like all this transmutation stuff that's happening right now. And going along with that, there was a comment and asked, Tan asked, have we talked about the eclipse and the comet? We're in the eclipse corridor technically already, even though it's 2 days from now that the lunar eclipse happens. That's on a 7/7 portal because
Mm.
sept means seven. September is seventh month when it was 13-month calendar, and then Oct is 8, and so on.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
so that's a 7/7 portal, but then there's the 9/9/9
Nine
portal
portal. Yeah.
because
That's
the
coming
nine
up.
year.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
my
that's also a
goodness.
Perseid meteor shower that day too.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Okay, you're so good at the astrology. I've been listening to a lot of your episodes too and hearing it. I'm like, wow. I'm like, she needs to school us all on this Kazemi and meteor showers.
It's even fun to say, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Because I don't know much about, like, that's not my lane, but I would love to learn more.
Yeah.
in terms of like the
I
solar.
I didn't used to care about it. I didn't used to care. And then when Spirit showed me that each conjunction is another part of a story that was laid out in our earlier, like, uh, in like religious texts as well as other forms of history that's been recorded, you'll actually see a real live thing playing out from the heavens that's telling you, and then they present it like they're really people walking around doing stuff in the Bible and so on. And so, like, that's when I started paying attention. That's when I realized, oh, there's something more about this. And then when you understand, you do your whole chart, it's a different story. Like, I don't resonate with the Aries, you're going to meet somebody you haven't seen for a long time crap that you read in the newspaper.
Oh yeah, it's so generic, right?
Yeah.
That's so generic. Yeah, that just you can feel the energy of that. It's just it's no depth. It's not personal. It's just like it's all they make it into entertainment, right?
Right. Right. It's just politics or reality TV, whatever word you want to use. It's all the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
Reality TV and politics.
Yeah. Yeah, typical 3D distortions. I'm not surprised. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you look into Vedic astrology at all?
I've only just started to, because of Josie Jackson, she's very much into the Vedic
Oh
astrology.
yeah, she's been on your show, right? Josie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's amazing. And so anything I know about Vedic astrology is just saying what she told me.
Oh, okay.
But I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever do these shows on Saturday or Sunday, anytime on the weekends?
We don't, I
Okay.
don't typically do. No, like, I usually I'll do Sunday live Q&A that I have the audience come and we do. And then the 2 days of the week that I have guests on are Wednesdays and Fridays. Every Friday and every Wednesday I have a guest. And so it would be too much to add another, on occasion, very rarely I will do that to like accommodate someone who can't come on, but I try to avoid it.
For sure.
Because then I give up my Saturday,
Absolutely, absolutely. But I was just asking because weekends are usually better because I usually don't have my son on those days, but I can totally do Friday. So yeah, we'll definitely reconvene.
Okay. And we could do it later. We could do it an hour later, like we had that translation that started out because I did offer you the 5 o'clock slot, 5 o'clock for me. And when you responded differently, I assumed, so I just did it differently. But we can start it, and we'll talk about it after the show.
Oh yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good.
Have a chat. Yeah. Okay. But I just wanted to highlight Leah's comment. Year of the Snake. I don't ever know how to say this. Ouroboros. Time to bring everything all full circle. It does have that. That's what it's like. It creates it like symbols you see. It's like eating its tail, like that circle. And that completion is what the circle is. And so a lot of what we're experiencing globally right now is the completion. And when that completion occurs, it's not like, oh no, now it's over. It's like, okay, now it's time for the next book in the series of books.
Yeah, it's a new beginning. Yeah, I mean, that's what the 9 is. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you even look, the 9 kind of like coils around like a snake.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
It has that spiral energy in the 9 as well.
Well, having you on the 12th is perfect because that's like the day after the 9/11 stuff and all that.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Ooh.
Yeah. And we have like some, the moon meets the 7 sisters on that day. And there's a lot to discuss. So
the Pleiadian, right? Pleiadian constellation.
That's correct. That's correct. And then this comet, the 3-eye atlas. So anybody wants to look it up, that not a comet is called 3-eye//atlas. It's really fun to jump down that rabbit hole because most scientists are scratching their heads saying it's not doing anything like a comet's supposed to do. And then those of us who know better know it's a vessel. So
yeah, absolutely. I love that. Yeah, I can't wait to go deeper into all of that stuff. So I'm excited. Yeah. Yes. I'm gonna have like some homework.
All right. Well, thank you for coming.
Yes.
The Tower of Babel of Time, that just it's a thing that happens. And so I look forward to, I never thought you didn't come. I thought that something
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah, I just had to make sure like we were good on that. Yeah, it was just a misunderstanding with the time. So
Yeah.
now we're clear. But I'm gonna stay on afterwards.
All right,
But
good.
peace, everybody.
Sending you all so much love, and I will
Mhm.
see you on the regular stream on Sunday. Just know that you're not alone, and you know the Sunday's the lunar eclipse day. So if you have a chance and you don't come on, maybe do some type of ceremony and allow yourself to take in that energy, that gift that it is when it comes in. So thank you all. Sending you love. Aho blessings.